On this super review, let's take a look at the Apple AirPods. All right, I've been listening to a lot of different Bluetooth headphones, and it might seem like I've been circling around avoiding the Apple AirPods. And the truth is I kind of was. I don't know, I think I'm gonna like these things, but frankly, they're expensive, 160 bucks. Whew, that's a lot of money for a pair of Bluetooth headphones, especially when I feel like over the last year, these true wireless earbuds have really exploded in popularity, and there's a lot of really decent budget versions of these things. Now, 160 bucks for Apple's version of it, is it worth it in 2019? Let's go ahead and open up the box. We'll find out what you get inside with the Apple AirPods, and then I'll give it a listening test and run it against my typical Bluetooth earbuds test and compare these to some more budget conscious versions of true wireless buds and see, is there really a reason in the year 2019 to be spending 160 bucks on AirPods? All right, leave it to Apple to make the best spinning box we've had here on Super Review. So we got the Apple AirPods here in a box, and let's see, we got an Apple logo, we've got the AirPods, we've got the logo AirPods, we've got another Apple logo. Imagine that won't be the last Apple logo we see here. Down here on the bottom, that's really not any interesting information down here in the box. We know that we're gonna get a charging case in here. And that might be it. Is there gonna be even a cable? I assume there's gotta be, it's gotta come with a cable. Well, let's find out. Let's go ahead and open this thing up because frankly, we're not gonna find anything else about this thing from the box. All right, so we got the Apple AirPods completely unboxed, and what do you get? Not a ton. You don't even get any Apple stickers, which for 160 bucks, Apple, where's my stickers? I don't actually care. You do get quite a bit of paperwork over here. You got 3 different booklets that I'm not gonna look at. And the good news with the AirPods is the setup process is so simple, so streamlined, you're probably not gonna need any of that paperwork. In fact, when I just unboxed this thing, my iPad, which I'm using up here, to help videotape this, my iPad tried to pair with these things. So that's how simple it is. You don't even have to try and these things will start to pair. But it did come with a cable, which is nice. Came with a lightning cable with USB-A on one end. If you've got a brand new MacBook, I'm sorry. But basically everyone else, you're probably okay. Although it's interesting that these do not come with a power brick at all. For 160 bucks, it might be nice to have a power brick, huh? And then you get the charging case, which is, frankly, this is the reason that you pay 160 bucks. Look, Apple's good at this stuff, and this thing is so nice. Look how small that is. It's like the size of a pair of Tic Tacs. You got the AirPods themselves, which are nice and small. And, you know, you might be wondering, why would anyone be interested in Apple AirPods? When there's a bunch of other, you know, cheap Bluetooth true wireless earbuds. And one thing that continues to set apart AirPods from other true wireless buds, at least most of them, is they don't create a seal in your ear, right? These things just rest in your ear and they're relatively open air, which could be a bad thing or it could be a good thing, kind of depending on your preferences or, you know, your different scenarios. If you want to shut out the outside sound, these are not going to do a very good job. You're going to want something that creates a seal. If you don't want that though, if you want to still be aware of your surroundings, you want to hear creeps walking up behind you, you want to be able to talk to coworkers or whatever, or you just don't like the way that, you know, a seal feels in your ear, well, the Apple AirPods are still one of the only options really in this market. So that is one thing. That said, we are going to put these things up against my current favorite budget Bluetooth true wireless buds. These are the Dudio's Zeus Airs, and these things cost 35 bucks. Now look, that AirPod case is smaller, but I don't know that it's that much more convenient, but we'll find out. I'll go ahead and give these things a listening test, and I'll live with these for a little bit. And I'll come back and I'll let you know in 2019, is it worth paying 160 bucks for these, or should you just spend 35 bucks and get these? All right, let's talk about the Apple AirPods. And really, look, there are a lot of true wireless earbuds that you can get nowadays for well under 50 bucks that are actually pretty decent. So in 2019, is there still a good argument for $160 Apple AirPods? And in some ways, yeah, I think there is. So let's start with sort of the physical attributes of the Apple AirPods, because I think this is really where Apple is ahead of the game, at least in a lot of ways, for my personal taste. So let's just talk about the size. The size of the AirPods is incredible. A lot of the other true wireless buds that I've tried so far, they're pretty convenient. They've got nice carrying cases that are pretty portable, but they're not this portable. This thing is, I can't believe how small this is. It's so small that I could put it into the pocket watch pocket of my jeans, and now I would have to take out my old-timey pocket watch to make room for it. But the good news is I don't have an old-timey pocket watch, so there's plenty of room for a pair of Apple AirPods in that pocket, in my jeans. That's pretty impressive. Now the case is pretty well made. It's got, you know, a nice solid build to it, and the magnetic clasp up here is surprisingly satisfying to just open and close, and that might sound dumb, but if you get a pair of these, you're gonna find yourself opening and closing that magnetic clasp, and you're gonna come back to this video and you'll be like, he was right, that clasp is awesome. But for real, like, I don't know why, it's fun to have something like that to fidget with. I think that this thing looks pretty nice, although one quibble that I have with the all white plastic, the glossy plastic, is that as you're taking it in and out of your pocket, at least for me, this thing tends to pick up lint quite a bit, and it shows pretty significantly against the white plastic. In terms of fit, I really like the AirPods, and generally I like the EarPods as well, the standard wired version of Apple's headphone. It might not be for everybody, especially because, look, these do not isolate your hearing, or these don't isolate at all. When you're wearing these things, you can still hear everything around you. You can still carry on conversations with people while wearing the AirPods. And I know that because people at work do it all the time. So there's no isolation there, and maybe that's a problem, but I actually think that, you know, in some ways that is a feature. And that's something that, frankly, I don't know, it seems like only Apple is doing it in the true wireless space. I think there's a lot of strength in being able to wear these, listen to podcasts, still be able to, you know, interrupt yourself and carry on a conversation if you need to, without having to awkwardly remove these from your ear or anything like that. Now, in terms of general functionality, these things are very good and very reliable, as you would expect from Apple. But I was frankly kind of surprised that at 160 bucks, some things they're fine, but they're not exceptional. For example, like the Bluetooth connection, when you take these things out of the case and plug them into your ears, there's still a couple seconds delay between, you know, you taking them out of the case and being able to hear whatever your phone is playing. And it's about the same as what you get with some, you know, cheaper true wireless buds. I was just kind of surprised that it wasn't any faster. The general Bluetooth range on these it's good, it's very solid. But again, it's not exceptional. You know, I was able to get the connection to drop when I walked all the way across the house and had multiple walls in between. So again, like that's a fairly extreme case. And in that extreme case, the AirPods did start to fail. So I'm not gonna hold it against it, but again, at 160 bucks, I almost expected something a little bit more exceptional in that. And then one other thing with the Bluetooth that's worth calling out is that there is still a slight delay if you're watching video with the AirPods. And now it's a delay of in the range of like 100 to maybe 200 milliseconds. So it's a pretty small delay. But again, it's about the same that you would get with cheaper Bluetooth earbuds. And I kind of expected, you know, 160 bucks, I expected a little bit more exceptional performance there. It's not bad. It's as good as anything else I've tried. It's just not any better. Now, issuing commands to your phone through the AirPods, it's done pretty well. It's done pretty well, but it is a little bit limited. You can custom map functions to each earphone, right? But you can only have one function per earphone, and it's activated with the double tap. It's always a double tap. There's only a double tap. There's no, single tap. There's no triple tap, no long press or anything. You just get double tap, and you can customize your double tap for your left ear and customize the double tap for the right ear. The way I've got mine set up, I have the right ear set to pause play, and I've got the left ear set to go back 15 seconds in a podcast, just because those are functions that I use a lot. Interestingly, you cannot map these things to control volume. If you want to control volume, you're gonna have to leave one of those mappings set to Siri, and you're gonna have to activate Siri, talk to Siri, and wait for Siri to change the volume, figure out that it's not changed the volume enough, and then activate Siri and ask Siri to change the volume again. I think it's really clumsy, and frankly, that's something I kind of expect to see them fix in the next version of AirPods. So I just said the AirPods are not exceptional in a lot of ways, but there are a few ways in which I think these things are actually exceptional. They're better than the other true wireless buds that I've tried. For example, so you can use these earpods, the AirPods, one at a time if you want to. And that's true of some other earbuds that I've tried. But unlike other true wireless buds that I've tried, you can use either bud one at a time. Typically, with other cheaper true wireless buds, one of them is like the master bud and the other one just carries off of that master bud. And it can be either the left one or the right one, and you don't get to choose. With the AirPods, you do get to choose. You can just pull out the left one, plug it in, and that's the only one you use if you want to. Or you can do it with the right one. And I think that's actually pretty nice, and it's kind of a nice feature, frankly. And you do also still get access to whatever double tap command you left on, or you set for whichever bud you have in your ear. Battery life is also exceptional on the AirPods. You get 5 hours of battery on the buds themselves, and then you plug it back into the case and you can charge for an additional 20 hours, which it's pretty crazy considering how small this thing is. So that's definitely exceptional in my book. And then another thing that I think is actually a really killer feature if you're an Apple user is that once you sync it to let's say you sync it to your iPhone and you have other Apple devices, Apple's gonna automatically share that sync with your other devices. And then if you wanna switch between, let's say your iPhone and your iPad, or iPhone and your Mac, it's just a couple of taps away. You don't have to like unpair it from one phone, or you don't have to unpair it from your phone and then repair it with your computer. If you've ever dealt with Bluetooth connection jumping between devices, it's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt to the point that most people won't ever do it. But with the AirPods, Apple's actually made it really easy to swap between, and I think that is a killer feature. Now, in terms of sound quality, look, I listen to a lot of audiophile grade headphones, but none of them are Bluetooth, all right? So when it comes to Bluetooth earphones, I am not expecting audiophile quality sound, and frankly, you don't get it with the AirPods. The AirPods, they've got a decent sound, but they definitely lean toward the mids and the highs, and the highs are actually kind of a little bit harsh on these. It's a decent sound. It's got some decent space to it, and because they're not isolating in your ears, there is actually a decent amount of stage to it. Not a ton of separation in the instrumentation, but again, like with Bluetooth, I don't really look for that too much. I think for what they are, they sound pretty good. Not a lot of bass, but there's a decent amount of bass. If you've heard Apple's EarPods, just the regular cabled version, these actually sound pretty similar, but they are a little bit better, I think. Just a little bit fuller bodied in the AirPods. The bass is a little bit fuller, but I think the treble harshness is pretty similar between both the AirPods and the EarPods. So if I were to rate the Apple AirPods in 2019, I'd still give these things 5 stars out of 5. I think, look, the size and the reliable functionality of these things is a killer feature. As an Apple user, I really like the fact that I can swap between my iPhone and my MacBook with just a click of the button. That is, again, a killer feature. That said, look, the sound quality, in my opinion, it's good, but I don't think it's really any better than the sound quality I'm getting out of like some $35 true wireless buds. And that's the biggest challenge for the AirPods right now, is that there are competitors that are doing a really good job at a much, much lower price point. That said, if you're interested in checking out the AirPods, I do have links in the description down below. While you're down there, you can hit the like button for the video if you liked it. You can subscribe to the channel, and then I'll see you in the next super review.